Your path will be difficult, child of Vildoria. When she woke up, the morning light penetrated through the windows, and her heart beat quietly. She did not yet know what those words meant, but she felt that her destiny had already been written among the stars and dreams. Thus the story of Princess Lyriana began, not just as the daughter of the king and queen, but as the heir of light, destined to guard the balance between the worlds, before darkness claimed its right. While Lyriana grew under the light of hope in the deep layers of the dream world, an old, patient and hungry shadow moved. Her name was Mirak, the god of dark dreams, master of nightmares and distorted truths. He never stepped directly into the world. He spread his influence like a cold mist, creeping into the sleep of the powerful, where fear could be shaped into weapons. Mirak had felt Lyriana's birth on the same night the sky had lit up with light. For him, that glow had not been a sign of joy, but a wound. The light disturbed the balance of dreams, and Mirak lived from cracks, from doubt, from the weakness of the mind. Somewhere, in a land that belonged neither to life nor death, he had opened his eyelidless eyes and smiled. "The heiress," he had whispered. "Then it is time." He did not rush. Mirak never attacked directly. He waited until dreams were soft, until souls became vulnerable. And no one was more vulnerable than those who carried the weight of a kingdom on their shoulders. King ℚ𝕖𝕒𝕣𝕚𝕚 had been the first. His dreams seemed innocent. He was alone in the throne room, looking at a map of Vildoria. The lands were whole, the colors vivid, but something was wrong. The borders were beginning to move, slowly, like wounds. Opening. When ℚ𝕖𝕒𝕣𝕚 tried to stop them, the earth slipped through his fingers. Then came the voice. "You are too weak," she murmured from behind the throne. "Your kingdom rests on a fragile light." ℚ𝕖𝕒𝕣𝕚 woke up sweating, his heart beating irregularly. He told himself it was just fatigue, the burden of responsibility. But the next night, the dream returned, clearer, more painful. Each time, the voice became more familiar, more convincing. Soon, ℚ𝕚𝕖𝕒𝕚's dreams turned into nightmares. He saw his subjects turning against him. He heard whispers of betrayal in every corner of the palace. In his dream, Lyriana stood far away, enveloped in a light he could no longer touch. "Her light will overshadow you," the voice told her. "People will follow the dream, not the king." Mirak did not tell her outright lies. He planted doubts and let them grow on their own. At the same time, Queen ℍ𝕗𝕚𝕚 began to be drawn into a different kind of dream. Hers was not dominated by fear, but by loss. In her sleep, ℍ𝕗𝕚𝕚 walked the corridors of the palace, but the rooms were empty, cold, lifeless. When he called ℚ𝕚𝕚𝕚's name, the echo answered him mockingly. When he looked for Lyriana, he found only an empty bed, covered in ashes. "You failed," whispered a gentle, almost compassionate voice. "You couldn't protect your child." ℍ𝕗𝕚𝕚 would wake up with tears in her eyes, with a knot in her chest that she couldn't shake even in the light of day. She would begin to look at the world with fear, to see dangers where there had once been trust. She would hold her daughter tighter to her chest, and this fear, although born of love, would become a crack through which Mirak would penetrate deeper. Night after night, the god of dark dreams would weave his in the kingdom. Changes were felt. ℚ𝕚𝕚𝕚 became more distant, harsher in his decisions. The advisors noticed how the king doubted those who had been loyal to him for years. The palace gates were guarded more strictly, and suspicion spread like a silent disease. ℍ𝕗𝕚𝕚, in turn, would begin to withdraw. She would spend hours in the chapel, Praying for the dreams that gave him no peace, a heavy silence settled between her and ℚ𝕳𝕳, fueled by different but equally poisonous nightmares. Mirak watched everything from his throne in the ℍ𝕳𝕚 land, a place of changing shapes and starless skies. There time did not flow, and dreams gathered like clouds before a storm. Beside him, the shadows of Mirak and ℍ𝕬𝕚 moved silently, ready to be called upon if needed. Not yet, Mirak thought. First, the breakup point. One night, ℚ𝕳𝕳 and ℍ𝕬𝕚 had the same dream, although they were not together. The palace was burning. The flames were not red, but black, swallowing the light. People were running, screaming, and above them all rose a huge, faceless silhouette. When the silhouette spoke, the earth trembled. You allowed the light to blind you. When they woke up, they both felt the same emptiness in their souls. Without knowing it, Mirak had linked their dreams, making them feed off each other. ℚ𝕳𝕳's fear became ℍ𝕬𝕳's anxiety, and her fear returned to him in the form of anger. Only Lyriana remained untouched. On the nights when her parents struggled in nightmares, the princess's dreams became clearer. She felt a pressure, like a shadow approaching a circle of light, but not entering it. Sometimes, she woke up with the impression that someone was watching her from afar, with interest and hostility. One night, Lyriana dreamed of a black, agitated and immense silhouette rose from the depths, without a clear outline. When it approached, the water retreated, refusing to touch it.